You are listening to the Overthinker's Guide to Joy, episode 29. This is the episode where I'm going to talk about the 10 best lessons you can learn from a dog. Let's dive in. This is a podcast for overthinkers, overdoers, and overachievers who are tired of feeling overanxious and just want to feel better. I'm your host, certified life coach, Jackie DeCrenis. Hey there, how are you today? It's definitely starting to feel like spring. Although I basically live in a place that's warm year-round, there is definitely something about mid-March where there is a collective shift. The days are getting longer, the nights are getting warmer. Isn't that the lyrics to an Eagle song, like Take It Easy or something like that? I'm not sure. But it's definitely starting to feel like spring. Maybe because my daughter's on spring break, or maybe because she did a spring cleaning of her room yesterday. And for anyone with a teenager, you know that happens about as often as a blue moon. So I will celebrate that when it happens. But I feel like I just have more spring in my step. And I definitely am feeling that spring fever of wanting to go outside and play. When I had my corporate job many years ago, one of my biggest complaints about the job was how little time there was for self-care. Now, for anyone who's ever worked long hours, had a long commute, or tried to juggle family and career, you know the first thing to go is your self-care routine. Now, with 25% of the professional jobs working from home, there's never been a better time to change your work-life balance by learning to develop good, healthy habits. My two older daughters just started new jobs last week and are now both working remotely for the first time in their careers. I reminded them that this is a unique opportunity to take advantage of the flexibility of their workday and to make sure that they take breaks and move around and stay hydrated. And they said, oh, that's not a problem because they both have dogs. And they have to take their dogs out to go to the bathroom and, give them water or treats or whatever. And I thought to myself, isn't that interesting? I remember people often saying that dogs might be not only our best friends, but our greatest teachers. And so I thought, you know what? I want to do a podcast on how dogs really are some of our greatest teachers. Now, for those of you who have read my blogs in the past, you know that I have a small white dog that kind of runs my life. Now, originally when I got him, almost 10 years ago, I got him because my oldest daughter left for college and I was suffering from sort of the early stages of empty nest, although I had two daughters to go. But it was still kind of traumatic that she had left. And my daughter accuses me of replacing her with this little white dog. Not true. But it actually was my youngest daughter who wanted to get this dog, and it just kind of ended up being my dog. And I just didn't fully appreciate how much I needed him and how much he needed me. My dog is registered as an emotional support dog because I needed to be able to travel with him back and forth when I was going from California to Hawaii. And the truth is, I really am more of his emotional support person because it turns out that his breed doesn't like to be left alone and they suffer from separation anxiety. The irony, of course, is that I basically adopted a furry version of my younger self because I never liked being left alone and I had terrible separation anxiety when I was little. So he's basically with me all the time. And I think the only times he's really not with me is when I'm recording podcasts because he has a tendency to bark at birds outside randomly and loudly. And when I'm on the tennis court because he doesn't know not to chase the balls. So other than that, he's always with me. And I was thinking about all the things that dogs teach us every day if we just pay attention. There's 10 great lessons from our canine companions. And the first one is to drink plenty of clean water throughout the day. The next one is to take breaks and play. Get outside as much as possible. Rest when needed. Be loyal. Be yourself. Be excited when you see your best friend. Go after things that are important to you. Do things that make you happy. And live in the moment. Now, while we don't have trouble remembering to take care of our furry friends, we can sometimes have trouble prioritizing ourselves in the same way. That is, you would never leave for work without feeding your dog or giving them fresh water, but you may run out the door without feeding yourself or hydrating before you go off to work. or run your errands or do your chores. So why do we put ourselves on the back burner and not consider what we need to take care of ourselves in order to take care of others? We need to prioritize ourselves so that we can show up for our pets, our family, friends, and careers. So what gets in the way? Well, it's not lack of motivation and it's not lack of discipline. It's simply a lack of belief or proof that these habits work. And I think that what happens is, and I've talked about this before, we don't always get immediate results from going to the gym or eating healthfully or developing a meditation practice. And so what happens is we just give up because we either think it's boring or it's hard or it doesn't work. But I want to remind you that it's incremental and it's cumulative. When we're doing healthy habits like hydrating, eating meals with protein, exercising, meditating, getting plenty of rest, you're building a foundation, and a foundation of not just good health, but a stronger mindset. You're building a new self-concept. Now, someone who sees themselves as healthy tends to make healthier choices and subsequently be healthier. So when someone takes care of their mind and body, you're also setting examples for others around you, whether it's your children or your colleagues, your coworkers, your neighbors. When you show up better rested, better hydrated, better fed, you show up calmer to difficult situations. So in this podcast, I thought I want to remind you, whether you have a dog or not, take care of yourself the same way you would one of your furry friends or your children or even your significant other. But put yourself first. So whether you're a big dog, a little dog, a purebred, a mutt, whether you have a dog or don't even like dogs, we can still all learn from them. So those reminders are: be yourself, be loyal, love unconditionally, be playful, stay curious, and enjoy the journey. All right, guys, that's what I have for you this week. Thanks for listening. I look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great week, and bye for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Overthinker's Guide to Joy. If you're enjoying these episodes, please subscribe or follow this podcast so you can always be in the know when the next episode drops. If you would like to learn more about working with me as a coach, you can connect with me through my website at jackiedegrenis.com. That's JACKIEDECRINIS.com.